Ambassador, there is a hand that is up. I don't know whether it's raising the hand or taking a photo. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was wondering. I was wondering why the hand even before I finished speaking. Okay, I now realize that because we all have this machine.
The word Imbizo is the gathering of a people or a collective for numerous objectives. And clearly, we are going to gather South Africans and everybody else and get our voices heard.
It's an organization, a community organization that really ensures that the community itself is kept together and that we're able to sit down as a community and be able to tackle our issues and our differences and find out what our interests are as a community, a South African community.
Imbizo, especially that its leadership, our young folks, I am very impressed that they are thinking to identify themselves with what's happening at home and spread not just South African culture.
Vibrant Africans. We needed a place where we can have our voice heard. And so I think Imbizo, this is what Imbizo is really established for, to get the voices of regular people who haven't been able to source out these amazing people. You know, we are a group who consider each other as leaders. And it's amazing leadership structure that there's an intense trust and passion about our country and what we're doing.
South Africa is a very interesting country. We have felt there is a time to keep contact between ourselves and our comrades throughout the globe. And therefore, this should be the most consistent contact between us and yourself. As you know, our struggle against apartheid was not just a struggle fought by us only as South Africans. It was actually fought by everyone because of the amount of the support. But in one of the regions of the world was the United States, because of the existence of the United Nations here. We always pride ourselves by saying that we're fighting for freedom. We sought to clarify what type of freedom we wanted, so that it was not just freedom in generalities. We fought for a freedom where we said South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white, and that no government could claim authority unless it was based on the will of the people. Fight for non-racialism, for equality, that every South African must say, this country belongs to me too, as an individual and to all of us. Being one of the countries that were getting our freedom at the end, we couldn't commit mistakes that other brothers and sisters in our continent had committed, but also were guided by our political understanding, which was very clear. We could not negotiate the problems of the country by avoiding to debate the issues, but negotiate a constitution. We debated the problems and negotiated to solve, in the first instance, the problems, and said, let us not work on the constitution, because we're negotiating with a regime that was not elected by the people. And therefore, in our view, it had no right to say we can craft a constitution, because it was not representative. So that constitution will be indeed a constitution that deals with the life, with how the country should be. And every problem we can think of was put on the table, and tried to make all those who were negotiating feel at home, no matter what size they were in terms of parties. There are things at times people who report about South Africa that they ignore the successes we've made as a country if you take from where we come from. We have established non-racialism in South Africa. There's no question about it. That's why we are called the Rainbow Nation. We have succeeded to reconcile people who were at loggerheads before 1994. We've made South Africans to feel very proud to be South Africans. You know, before our freedom, just to take one or two things, before our freedom, energy, electricity in South Africa was said to be in abundance. It was actually cheaper. It was an attraction for investors. Today, we are working very hard to try to accumulate energy, because it's not enough. Why? Because before 1994, energy was meant for a few. The economy was structured along the lines of apartheid, racialism. As soon as we came, we said every South African has a right to electricity. And we rolled it out to the remotest areas. And what had been electricity in abundance, people suddenly realized it was not enough. Firstly, to grow the economy that was for everybody, but also to serve the people everywhere. And suddenly people say there's no electricity. And we're working very hard to ensure that the electricity is there for everyone. Now, when I say you need to have this interaction so that you know the facts from fiction that at times is being told about South Africa. This is just one example. I can give a few. And we're very happy with the progress we are making. The circumstances may not be the same while we're here. And you might not be going home tomorrow. You might also wanting to stay here, but South Africa is your home. You would want to participate. When we campaign, we explain this thoroughly, that every South African has a right to have a voice in how South Africa is governed. And therefore you have a right wherever you are. You know, the ANC, and I can say this, I said earlier, when we were struggling, there is no country that did not feel the ANC. There will be very few countries that did not support the ANC. Even other countries that from their governmental position had not supported the ANC, but the citizens of those countries did. And therefore the ANC was everywhere. In other words, you can't say the ANC is just a national organization. is an international organization. And thus, therefore, it is important, or it was important for the ANC to discuss the question of how do we maintain the membership of the ANC abroad. We have taken a decision that branches of the ANC must be established wherever there are ANC members. We are one organization that believes in its members participating in the evolution of its policies. Now, I see no reason why members of the ANC who are out here, who are like what the ambassador was explaining, academic, scientists, engineers, capable, in other words, empowered, why can't they contribute in enhancing the policies of the ANC so that that talent is utilized to develop South Africa? I'm sure that could be done. It should not be a problem. And I'm sure this interaction could help us to really develop that process so that that process begins to work. You might find that your skills might see you going back home. Why not? Thank you very much.
To always, follow him around, that he would go right into the heart of the community, of the rather South African community in New York. And we're a small group, but we do a lot. We do a lot, and so I think it's really amazing.
It's amazing. It's been a very long and difficult journey to get this event together and to get the president of the country to meet South Africans in America and New York especially. And it's really wonderful, and I think the president has actually laid out a very good framework for future interaction between the community and the consulate and the ambassador in DC, as well as the ambassador in the UN.
The Imbizo host committee had done a wonderful job. They were persistent, then they were organized, and then they were patient, and then the president arrived. Then they were incisive in what they wanted the president to speak about. The message of the president is that there is a role for ANC cadres even in the United States. We are in the United States when it is at its most uncertain. It can't make up its mind. Does war still work, or does negotiations work better? And we have the perfect example of a transition based on engagement, dialogue, negotiation. And that is brand South Africa. That is the message we have. That makes of South Africa not a military superpower, but a moral superpower. And all of us who are ANC cadres, who are South Africans, need to carry that message out every day through community organizing, because Americans have never been searching for alternatives more than they are at this moment in their life. So all in all, it's been a great night. I think it's rare for a president to come to the United Nations and then face his constituency and to say, what have we done with the mandate you gave us 20 years ago? How do we continue this conversation? And I think that that's the humility of South Africa, and may we never ever lose it.
It was me and the folks who believe in us, and if it wasn't for them, this would not have happened. So I'm very delighted and I'm honored that I work with such incredible people.
The invitation they extended to the president of South Africa here, that shows how serious they are, and the reception of the president, and that everybody, especially in New York State and around New York, must know that if they want to know or learn about South Africa, they should contact Imbizo.
We know that the elements in it are so well mixed that nature could stand up and say, this is the man. Once again, Mr. President, we will stand and die for you. Not die for you in the Julius Malema way, in the African way.
I just realized I'm actually quite proud of my government. They have feelers, they are cutting through the red tape, and they know how to now, they have people who are listening to people and getting it done. And this was like an amazing sign of it, and it's just incredible.
The kinds of things that we can pull through these amazing people can pull through. I am always in awe of what we can do. I'm always in awe.